I gotta say though, I fucking laughed my ass off when they revealed the God of War controller. I was like, oh my god, is this all they're giving us for God of War? I started laughing my ass off.
It's a stupid controller too. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. You'll
I
have to
I
bear with
like
me. I'm
the
eating an
blue.
ice
I
cream
don't.
sandwich.
I like the blue. I think the blue looks good. I don't like the wolves in the middle. It's just, eh.
Well, and like, I don't know. I'm
They
just
could have done the God of War symbol with the weapons on each side too. Like
yeah,
there was like so many better things that they could have done for it.
and
But,
I'm
like
just like,
I get Fenrir is supposed to be probably like a big part of this, but
yeah, and I don't know. I kind of hate like special edition stuff.
you know,
I think it looks tacky, right? I think like you're like, yeah, and I mean like this is gonna rub some people the wrong way, but like, oh my god, you love Star Wars so much that you want to brand shit on your house with Star Wars so that it constantly reminds you every time you look at that thing that you love Star Wars. Like, I don't know. I've always thought that that's tacky. And so like the special edition consoles, they aren't all bad. Like especially last generation, they kind of started to figure out how to make cool ones. And the way to make cool ones is to not do branding on them. So like the PS4 Pro, the God of War PS4 Pro, that was like the Leviathan axe, that was sick.
Mm-hmm.
The Cyberpunk Xbox One X, that was awesome.
I still to this day I love the Star Wars PS4, the original
The
one with
Darth
Vader's
Vader one.
head.
Yeah, like that's cool. But like just Star Wars all over
Yeah.
it. It's like
That's fucking lame.
And so I don't know. I looking at this controller, like granted it doesn't say like God of War on it, but I've just never been even when they started to kind of get it right in the last generation, like towards the end of the last generation, I've still just that's not for me. To me, like I don't want this like thing to remind me of just one game. I want it to be something that reminds me of so many great experiences that I have. And so like I don't want it to be like, oh, this is like God of War. This is my God of War box. I want it to be like, oh, this is my PS5. And I play God of War on it. And God of War is great. Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty hyper specific. I don't know. Riff for like 30 seconds. I got to take a bite of ice cream.
Yeah, you're good. But yeah, no, the Hogwarts Legacy didn't need to see more in this game. I've been sold on it since you fucking told me it existed.
I know. Oh my god, my mouth is about cold, but you picked that. Something so good. The trailer was awesome.
The trailer was great. Exploring that little like Hogsmeade little dungeon, whatever you want to call that, that looked cool.
Guess what? That quest is exclusive to PlayStation.
A PlayStation. Yeah.
So fucking dumb.
Yep. I was like, all right, why do we no.
Okay. Are you looking at the dock?
I am looking at the dock.
Okay, go down to the Stellar Blade, or whatever the fuck that thing was called.
Stellar Blade, Stellar.
Yeah. Like the way they like that logo was designed, that's terrible logo design. But
yeah,
there is a quote there, and we're actually going to be referencing this quote a lot. This is what the CMA said about about Microsoft acquiring Activision.
Mm-hmm.
And the CMA is like the UK's like FCC. Yep. So it says, having full control over this catalog, especially in light of Microsoft's already strong position in gaming consoles, operating systems, and cloud infrastructure, could result in Microsoft harming consumers by impairing Microsoft's closest gaming rival, Sony's, Microsoft's closest gaming rival, ability to compete as well as that of other existing rivals and potential entrants who could otherwise bring healthy competition through innovative multi-game subscriptions and cloud gaming. So this is basically saying, hey, exclusives are bad for the industry, which I kind of disagree with.
No, dude. They're only bad when Sony doesn't get them.
That's right. It's like...
That's why they had to make their own Bayonetta.
How could Sony fucking do this? Say that, like, granted this was a CMA, but how could Sony, like, pump up this sort of bullshit so the CMA is buying it, and then turn around and do, like, oh, exclusive quest for Hogwarts Legacy? Like, oh my god, it's annoying.
Yep. Big hubris.
I need another bite of ice cream. Talk about something else.
What was it? Like a Dragon, Ishin, Yakuza style game. I'm all in. That looked pretty good. Graphics looked a bit last gen, but I mean it's coming out for PS4 as well, so
Yeah.
Can't really fault them for that. But yeah, the Yakuza games have never really been focused on graphics. It's been more just ridiculous fun and gameplay. So
this is Like a Dragon Ishin.
Yep.
Is this a sequel to Yakuza Like a Dragon?
No, it's more of it's like a prequel. It takes place like hundreds of years earlier. I think it's kind of its own thing, but it's like in the same style of game.
Okay. In the same style as Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
Because Like a Dragon was like turn-based, right?
It was.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit convoluted, if you ask me, but
it's a little confusing.
It cool. It looked like kind of gun fu, like John Wick style stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I like looking at it. It was like okay, but yeah, I mean, you mentioned the graphics. PS4 is like super holding this one back.
Yeah, but honestly, like it's a Yakuza game. It's more about the ridiculousness and the gameplay than it's ever been about the graphics. So.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So I'll give it a pass on that for right now.
Yeah.
If the next one happens to still come out on PS4, then we're going to have problems.
Well, so speaking of PS4 games, like this shit is shocking that Like a Dragon Ishin is coming to PS4 in 2023. That means that PS4 will have made it 10 years.
Yep.
And Rise of the Ronin. That game is coming in 2024.
Yep.
Again, graphically doesn't look great. And like kind of
right.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look incredible. I figured it would be like, I don't know. It looks like a game that is also being held back by PS4. So I won't be surprised if Rise of the Ronin ends up coming to PS4 as well.
Yeah.
But you know what?
God,
I can check
it's just another game in like a long line of the games that we saw today that just feels like it's building upon the success of another game that came out like a few years ago.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it feels like a Tsushima clone. Like
that, exactly like a clone. Like it's, and okay, I guess I shouldn't say exactly. It feels like a Ghost of Tsushima clone with like a little more stylization and a little more like fantastical elements, especially with the combat. But like, I don't know. I'm just gonna play Ghost of Tsushima, especially when like Ghost of Tsushima on PS4 in game looked better than this PS5 game did in the trailer.
I mean, first of all, it's still in development, so I'm kind of.
Oh yeah, I guess that's fair.
I'm holding off judgment on that whole front because it's not coming out to 2024. They still got a couple of years to.
Yeah, lots of time.
Get all that stuff figured out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like when it first started, like just with how dark it was, I was like, all right, samurai something. I was like, is this maybe Sekiro 2, please?
Sekiro 2, yeah. So I thought that this one looked very much like a mixture of Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro.
Yep.
That was kind of the vibe that I got from it. Oh, that's not what I want. Rise of the Ronin. Okay, let's see. I'm just looking to see if it says PS4 or PS5 at the bottom.
Yep.
PlayStation 5 console exclusive 2024. Sounds like it's not coming to PS4.
Yeah, it's still in development, so I'm gonna wait for like full graphical capabilities to be shown.
Yeah,
closer to its release date.
That is definitely fair. But I mean, I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like like I said, it felt like Ghost of Tsushima, which was amazing.
Oh yeah, Ghost of Tsushima was incredible. Gabe bought that game today.
Oh, good. He's starting that one. I can't wait for him to finish that.
I know he's gonna love that game.
Yeah.
Okay, one I wanted to ask you about: Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. It was like that VR Star Wars game.
Yep.
Okay.
Like,
I kind of had some problems. Tell me what you think.
I liked a little bit of it. I liked it. I just like, all right, we're going to Galaxy's Edge. All right, okay. You're kind of bringing your Disney park into the fold, trying to make it like an actual thing within the universe. That's kind of cool. I liked how they had Hondo Ohnaka shown in the trailer. Thought that was pretty good. But like otherwise, like I don't know what this game's about. It looks just like a VR like Star Wars puzzle game that I could sometimes shoot robots.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to be doing like a lot of VR bullshit in this game.
Yeah. But I mean, it looks like one of those games that would show like the capabilities of what the PSVR 2 is going to be capable of.
Tech demo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
demo.
I mean, and I think that was kind of the problem with the PSVR, the first one was like, it never really got out of the tech demo phase, right? It never really like, they never got past that. Well, I shouldn't say that. A few games got past that, right? Like Beat Saber, Super Hot, Resident Evil 7. That might be it. Astrobot, I guess.
Yeah.
But like they didn't
But
really
Astrobot was kind of a tech demo anyway, in and of itself anyways, even if it was really fucking good.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I don't know. I mean, they charged like the Batman Arkham VR thing. That was just straight up like unashamedly shamelessly a tech demo. Shamelessly was the word I was looking for there. And they fucking charged for it, right? They charged money for that shit. And I don't know. I'm looking at the Star Wars game, just looks super tech demo-y. And that it just rubs me the wrong way when I see a game that looks like a tech demo, and I know they're going to charge like $70 for it.
I hope it's not $70. Like that's like, yeah, I'm sure hardcore Star Wars fans who are gonna get the PSVR 2 will be super happy with it. But that's it. Like if it was coming to PC and it was like $20 on Steam, yeah, sure, I'd probably check it out, maybe play it for an hour. If it wasn't great, I'll return it. But
yeah,
like I'm not paying like $70 for something like for a huge VR experience.
Also, you know what I thought was ironic was remember when Battlefront 2 came out and everyone was so mad and they were like, why can't we just do cosmetics? And they were like, their response was like, well, their Darth Vader never wore hot pink armor, right? Like that that was just such a lame excuse.
That you know of.
Right.
Come on,
you don't
man.
know what Vader was.
He had his rebellious phase. Leave him alone.
But like, I just thought it was so stupid that like that was their response. And they're like, oh, we got to honor the canon. And now 3PO talking about the First Order, saying like, oh, the First Order is now on the whatever. And like, doesn't have a red arm.
Yep.
And I'm just looking, I'm like, what happened to being careful with the canon, you dumbasses? Like,
yeah, when does this take place? Like,
yeah, well, that's another thing is like, when does this take place? Because it seemed like there was a lot of different. It seemed like first it seemed like pre-original trilogy, then it seemed like Disney era, I don't know.
I feel like it's between Disney era and original trilogy. Like, if I had to guess, that's like the only place I could think to put it.
Between 6 and 7.
Yeah. But even then, I don't fucking know.
Exactly. We know, like, and that kind of seemed to be the theme for the PlayStation thing today, was like, what the fuck are these games? Like, I found myself asking that in Star Wars. It was like, what is this game at its core? Like, okay, what is it?
Yeah, what is it going to be? Like, sure, it looks okay for a VR game, but I don't get what the game's about.
Is it a puzzle game? Is it an on-rail shooter? Is it like a Star Wars kind of like mini, not RPG, but like choose your own adventure? Is like, what is it? And they didn't make that clear.
Look, I just want to be able to dance in front of Jabba again. Give me that.
Oh, that was a bad game.
Yes, it was.
That was a really bad game. Star Wars Connect. Big promises. Very
small dick energy.
Yeah, very small dick energy. Another game that I was just like, what the fuck is this? Was Pacific Drive.
Like, yeah, like the VR driving adventure game, I guess.
Like another PSVR 2 game, and that's like it was very clear they were like, this is a PSVR 2 showcase, even though they didn't show us PSVR 2 hardware. They didn't tell us about like specs, they didn't tell us a price, they didn't tell us a release date. They just showed us games. And typically I don't like to complain about like, oh, just show me games, but show me games that like I know what they are. And like Pacific Drive, driving, I guess. And I don't know, it's like driving is good, especially in VR. I love racing games, but this doesn't look like a racing game. It looks, like you said, like driving adventure game, I guess.
This one, I saw it, started looking at it, I was like, all right, well, this seems like a good time to get up and get a drink.
Yeah, and the like the graphic, like the art style, I was looking at it just felt very like Life is Strange to me. And I don't know. It's dumb to let an art style annoy me, but like it just, that like, hey, like we're these misunderstood like indie hipsters, like that art style just annoys me. And it looked like that's what this game had. I wasn't there for it. I don't know. I'm like kind of talking myself into a tizzy with this one. I shouldn't be as upset about this game as I am. It looked dumb. I'm not going to play it. On the flip side though, another game that I was asking what the hell, but it was like, what is this game even called? Project Eve. Stellar Blade, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's Stellar Blade.
But I don't know what it's called, but it looks sick as fuck.
This seems to be PlayStation's answer to Bayonetta. Like that's what it felt like.
Yeah, it like they really. It is. I'm trying to think of like a PC way to say this.
Dude, it's just anime titties bouncing up and down. There's no PC way to say it.
Yeah, that's what it is. And like it's very interesting. Like I'm on board. I think that looks awesome. But it's just like interesting to see the cultural values and like not and like, to be fair, if I had to pick a side to land on this one, I would definitely go with the Japanese culture, because they aren't like super prude and afraid of anything that involves sex, which is kind of where Western culture has gone in the last few years. But that's like a way bigger conversation than this. This game looks sick. The main character looks awesome. Action looks awesome. Looks super fast paced. I will buy this game. Like, this is a game I will buy.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out. It definitely looks good. I mean, if it plays anything like Bayonetta, I'm in.
Yeah. So. Console exclusive though, which sucks. And I mean, that takes us back to the CMA thing. Having full control over this catalog, especially in light of Microsoft's already strong position. Just so dumb. It's like Sony has, and honestly, this is why exclusives are a good thing. And I understand that it's such an easy, like it's low hanging fruit to say like, oh, exclusives are bad for the consumer. And it's like, I see why you think that. But
yeah, because
honestly,
you want to like not have to buy 3 different consoles. Like I fucking get that.
Of course. But like
without exclusivity, you're not going to get as much like competition, as much drive to make better games. They're all just going to start to be samey.
Exactly. And there won't be as much drive because like exclusives sell hardware. And like hardware, they sell hardware, and like hardware is how these companies deliver their stores to us. And that's how they make money. And so like if Joe Biden signed an executive order tomorrow that was like, no more video game exclusives, that would be like a super weird executive order. But
if call John Wilkes Booth.
No, you can't make jokes about killing the president. Oh man, have you seen that Shane Gillis?
Yes, I have.
my dad's like, you can't make jokes about killing the president. I'm like, oh, what about if it was Biden? Well, I mean, yeah.
Man.
So no, so like if Biden signed an executive order, it was like no more video game console exclusives or platform exclusives, then suddenly there would be like that would be taking away one of the significant ways, like one of the main ways that they compete with each other. And then video games they wouldn't be making as much money. Video games there wouldn't be as much drive and competition, like you said, for games to be good, right?
Yep.
So we wouldn't get games like God of War. We wouldn't get games like Forza Horizon 5. It just wouldn't happen. So
Mario Odyssey, all that kind of things. Like it wouldn't exist.
Exactly. Okay, I'm looking through Synduality. I mean,
what is this game?
I watched a trailer.
I couldn't. I honestly, this one wasn't memorable for me. I don't remember what this one was, and I just watched it 2 hours ago.
Okay, I watched it twice. I watched this presentation twice. I can legitimately tell you, I feel like I know less about this game than I did before I knew it existed. And like the only thing I feel certain about knowing about this game is it's called Synduality, and it comes out in 2023.
Oh, this is the Mecha one. Okay.
That's all I know.
I was like, okay, cool. It gave me I don't know. Did you play Daemon X Machina?
No, but I have seen it. I've seen it played. Like I've seen gameplay videos.
It kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, I
don't think it's going to be the same at all, but like in games that came out recently, it gave me that kind of vibe. So
yeah, I could see that. I can get on board with you on that. Rise of the Ronin. Okay, you know what? We didn't finish talking about God of War. We talked about the controller.
Yeah, we didn't actually talk about the good trailer that we got. Probably the best thing we got from this presentation.
Really good trailer. Like, wow. I mean, obviously, you and I are like already sold. We didn't need.
Oh
this.
yeah, no, we didn't. Not at all.
But I'm not gonna say no because this trailer was awesome, and Kratos saying, "Death can have me when it earns me." Oh.
That was a really good line.
And something I noticed. So as you and all of my friends know, I have watched The West Wing way too many times. I am legitimately currently on my 15th watch through of the entire series. So it didn't take long to recognize Richard Schiff's voice. And I was like, yeah, oh, that's Richard Schiff. And I looked up who he is. He's Odin. And that is going to be amazing. And here's why. Is because like Richard Schiff is really calm, really cool, really collected, and most of all, he's really quiet. And so, like, Kratos, he has encountered and fought a bunch of different people and things and whatever, right? And he like he yells really loud, he punches really hard, and basically everyone that he's encountered, all of his enemies, they also yell really loud and punch really hard, and it becomes like who yells louder and punches harder. And that's fun. I mean, it has worked for the series. But Richard Schiff bringing like that quietness and that like cool head to Odin, I think that's gonna create Odin as a character, as like someone as like something that Kratos has never had to fight before. And it's like, I think it's gonna have like this haunting,
quiet
like
intensity about him.
Yeah, like calm intensity to him. And man, like the more I think about it, I'm like, that they cast that perfectly.
Yeah.
So
I was pretty excited, and especially towards the end of the trailer where we got to see Kratos versus what looked like Thor. I'm assuming it was Thor because he was wielding Mjolnir.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's definitely Thor. And Thor is fat in this game.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, seeing Kratos throw the Leviathan axe and Thor throw Mjolnir and them just crash in midair and like just pushing against each other, that was such a cool visual. Yeah, I mean, like this trailer was amazing. It was just straight up amazing.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it. I mean, I'm even more intrigued now because Atreus is hiding something.
Yeah,
whatever that could be. Yeah, there's so much to like about this trailer.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
The game's 2 months away now?
Yep, so, November 9th.
Yep. Pretty hype.
Yeah, I'm totally in on this. Okay, there's one I want to save for last. So Tekken 8. What do you think?
This game looked really pretty. I've never been a huge Tekken person. I think the most Tekken I've played was Pokken Tournament, which wasn't really even Tekken.
Oh my God, that's not Tekken.
So.
Oh Jesus! I played a lot of Tekken 3. I played a lot of Tekken Tag. I played a lot of like the free to play Tekken Tag on PS3. I played some Tekken 4. I played some Tekken 6. I heard Tekken 7 was like the best one. I heard Tekken 7 was like, okay, finally Tekken is back up to like Tekken 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I've always meant to like pick up a copy, but it's just, I don't know. I just never have. But yeah, I mean, like, what was it? Games Radar confirmed that this one is coming to Xbox and Steam as well as PlayStation. So seems like a Game Pass game to me.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes to Game Pass, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
When it comes to fighting games, I don't like paying full price for them anymore these days. Like, I love them, but they don't get the longevity as a lot of other games on my list do.
Right, exactly. It's like it's got to be a Game Pass game or a kind of a bargain bin.
Yeah, but I mean, great for Tekken fans. It looked great. Like, it looked beautiful.
Oh yeah, and like granted, I'm sure that what we were watching wasn't gameplay, but like the way because I feel like it's probably a new graphics engine, and the way the animations were like, they felt like properly weighty and without being too clunky. Oh man, it looked gorgeous. Looks like animations are just spot on. Looks like it's going to be a great Tekken game.
Yep. I'm excited to see how well this one does.
Yeah. What did you think of Demio?
So I've actually known about this game for a while. I was not expecting it to come to PSVR 2, though.
Oh, is it already out?
It's not already out, but Zach, Andrew, and I have actually known this game has been in development for like quite some time. I remember like maybe 6 to 8 months ago during one of our D&D sessions, we were talking about better ways to to do a virtual tabletop kind of thing. And then we were looking around and we found that this game was in development. And we looked at it and we thought it was pretty cool. We've been waiting for more news on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I looked at this and it was like, okay, just like using VR, like this is a great way to use VR, right?
Yep.
Using VR as a way to create a super immersive version of a tabletop RPG. Like that's genius. The only thing that I don't like about the game is it shouldn't be Demio. It should be D&D or Magic the Gathering, or, you know, it should be like existing tabletop games that are like already like, you know, tried and true, proven their worth.
Remind me after this podcast to send you a video.
Okay.
D&D released a video a couple weeks ago on their newest iteration of it that they're going to be coming out with, called D&D 1. They're going to be doing virtual tabletop and all sorts of stuff like that. I don't know whether it's going to be in VR, but they're starting to head in that direction at the very least.
Okay, that sounds cool. I mean, and yep. Like looking at this, I was like, God, I wish this was Magic. Like, if it was Magic and you could like, you could use like your, you know, Magic has like Magic Online or whatever, and
yep,
you could use your Magic Online deck, and like they had actual animations and like little like creatures, and like instead of a table, it was like, you know, a battlefield or whatever. That would be so sick. And I looked at Demi and I was like, God, like it's really unfortunate, but the worst part about the game is the game. Like this should.
You're just disappointed that it's not D&D or Magic the Gathering. I mean,
yeah, it should be an environment for those games.
Yeah, but I mean, as its own thing, it looks like a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll probably check it out when it comes out.
If I end up getting a PSVR 2, I will probably check that out as well. Okay, final thoughts on PlayStation State of Play before we do that, I just we got to discuss PlayStation Stars.
I was about to say, how can we not mention Stars? This is fucking NFTs without calling it NFTs.
Like, how are these not NFTs?
Who is buying into this? I get it's a free service, but who is buying into this?
Okay, I'll tell you there's gonna be like a lot of people that buy into this, and it's Sony ponies.
Oh my God.
They're like, people will praise Sony. People like suck PlayStation's dick for like I saw, okay, this is crazy, but I'm on the PS5 subreddit, and that place is insufferable. But like I'm there because, you know, it's work. But so I'm on the PS5 subreddit, and when Sony announced the price increase in all markets except the US, there were people on the subreddit legitimately defending Sony and saying, yeah, I think I'm really glad about the price hike because I think it's going to be more sustainable for Sony, and it's like, holy shit. Are you really that brainwashed? And those are the people that are going to be super stoked on PlayStation NFTs.
Like, don't get me wrong, I understand why they needed the price increase, but I don't agree with it.
Oh, yeah, no. Deal with it.
Yeah, no. Like, this digital collectibles for doing things in games, I'm just like, this is fucking NFTs.
The quote the lady said, digital collectibles are a highlight of the program. I was like, okay, you sound like a crypto bro who is trying to make money on NFTs. Just so stupid. This is genuinely embarrassing.
Yeah, like, this came right after Pacific Drive. So I'd already gotten up to get my drink. And I came back to this, and I was like, why? You know what? I should have waited to get my drink.
I'm still thirsty. I got to go back for more.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Okay, so that was the PlayStation State of Play. Give it a grade.
B minus.
B minus. Wow.
B minus, C plus. Like, it wasn't great. It's like somewhere in that area.
I was gonna give it like C minus D plus, because with the exception of like Stellar Blade, God of War. Okay, you know what? C. Stellar Blade, God of War, Hogwarts Legacy, Demio, Tekken, C.
Yep.
C plus, C plus. Yeah, that's like half the show.
Yep. I think C plus is a good place for this because like there were some stinkers here. There were some ones that were just like, don't really care. But there was a lot of cool stuff. But I can't like. But when like God of War is your like driving factor and it only gets like a 3-minute trailer.
Yeah. And like honestly, I just cannot go into B territory when NFTs were advertised.
That automatically brings it down a letter grade and a half.
Can't do it. So okay, I'll give it a C plus. You convinced me.
Yeah.
And you're going with B minus?
Yeah, B minus. I think that's a fair place to put it. I mean, there was definitely some good stuff. Like a Dragon, I'm pretty interested in as well.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. All right.
Yep.
Well, there was also a Nintendo Direct. Now, Tim,
what do you mean? There was a farming simulator Direct. I didn't see no God. Nintendo Direct.
I know. We need a counter for how many fucking farming sims there were. And you know what? We weren't the only ones to notice this. I was watching coverage for the Nintendo Direct, and like everyone was like, "What the like? Why so many farming sims?"
So I watched Spawnway's reaction after the fact. Can't get enough of this guy. And
he's awesome.
Like it was one of the first things he said.
Yep. Same with Wood. Same with Bob Wolf. Everyone mentioned this was a farming sim Direct, and that's just so dumb. Okay, but you know what? Let's
go down the list.
Yeah, let's go down the list.
Get it done. First game we showed was Fire Emblem Engage. Pretty hyped for Fire Emblem fans. I mean, it's been a couple years since what was it, Three Houses that last came out?
Yeah, what was that, like 4 years ago?
It was a while ago.
Yeah. Man,
so that was pretty cool. I don't like the design of the main character. The red-blue hair thing, not really a fan of.
I'm never a fan of blue hair. Answer a question for me on this.
Yeah.
Does this like look like a normal Fire Emblem game? Because I'm not into Fire Emblem.
Yeah, it looks like a normal Fire Emblem game. It looks like it's got the turn-based combat and all that fun stuff. But like, I'm not a huge Fire Emblem guy either. Like the last one I played was Path of Radiance on GameCube, so that tells you how long it's been for me.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. You know what? Before we go on, something else that we should mention: we were wrong about like everything.
So, we maybe got one thing right, maybe.
Yeah, if you listened to our podcast from yesterday / this morning, because we recorded last night, posted this morning, we were just so wrong about literally everything there was that happened. Okay, back to the list.
Yeah, that was Fire Emblem. It Takes Two. It's getting a Switch port.
Looks so ugly.
It looks It looks like they did a number to it to get it to run on the Switch, which is
just
a shame.
Vaseline. And it's really frustrating because like that's an indie game.
Yeah, and that was one of the best games released last year.
It was okay. I don't remember if I gave it my game of the year. It was, but I know that it really was down to, and it was like it wasn't even close with any, like nothing besides these two were close. But it was It Takes Two and Psychonauts 2.
Yep.
And like those two, it was just so obvious. Like, okay, this is it. These are the two that are the best. And like a tough thing about it is like that's an indie game. Joseph Fares like what is it? Star, I don't even remember the name of his studio, but that studio, I mean the human character models don't look great in that game on any platform, but there are parts of it that look absolutely gorgeous. And like
I think it was that
level.
Honestly, I think it was the human character models in this trailer that stood out the most to me. As like as soon as it started, it looked like, why does this look so much more polygonal and like,
why does this look like Wii?
Yeah, it just didn't look good.
No,
I'm excited for Switch people to be able to play this game, but not at this expense.
Yeah, and you know what? Like when a game is this good, I have been known to double dip. When a game is this good and it comes out on a new platform that I own, which I own basically all the platforms.
Yep.
I have been one to definitely be like, oh yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'll play that game again. And I buy it again and I play through it. It Takes Two, so good. And this game looks like the Switch version looks so bad that yeah, I'm not going to do It Takes Two again.
Yeah, it's just a real shame.
Yeah, really, really disappointing.
Now, if you want to talk about a beautiful game, the next one that they just showed was Fatal Frame: Mask of the Lunar Eclipse.
Looked really, really good.
Yep.
And like honestly, and I know I said this to you earlier, but like the most surprising thing about Fatal Frame, just all the time, Fatal Frame, anytime Fatal Frame is announced, I look at it and I'm like, huh, they're still making Fatal Frame games. Well, I'll be like, yeah. And anytime there's a new one, I'm like, wow, how does this franchise make enough money to keep going?
It's pretty big in Japan. So.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm with you. It looked gorgeous, especially like running on Switch. Looked awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the most beautiful games that we saw out of this direct, I think.
And early 2023, like
yeah.
So I mean, that puts Fire Emblem Engage January 2023, and Fatal Frame early 2023. Seems like Switch is going to have a pretty good year next year.
Yeah, they're starting off strong at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Next we had Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC Wave 2. They're adding a new hero, Ino. And
I rewatched it and that character looks like I'm trying to think. Okay, so you know in like sci-fi movies when there's like sex robots, right? And they're designed to be like super sexy and whatever. That character looks like a sex robot that you took all of the skin off of from the neck down. And it looks really creepy because it's like, I can tell that your skeleton is supposed to be sexy, but you don't have any skin there. And like, I look at your face and I can tell you're supposed to be like, you know, a hot anime girl, but you don't have any skin from the neck down. And so yeah, I don't care about this at all.
I like as someone who's played Xenoblade, I'm actually playing through 2 right now. So like, I kind of turned away, when this came out, cause I'm trying to like keep as spoiler free as possible from this. But it seems to me that she gives me real like artificial blade vibes from 2. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
Nice. And so, which one have you preferred so far, 2 or 1?
Story wise, definitely 1. Character wise, probably 1. The only thing that 2 does better is anime titties.
Okay.
So.
I mean, hey, it's a legitimate strategy to work on that.
I mean, they got hentai artists to do most of the artwork for the character designs and that.
Did they seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, this was at the beginning of the Switch when they started to do like the whole like sex sells thing. Like, if you remember, like ARMS, they had
like thick.
Thick lady. I don't remember her name, but
Nintendo really doesn't give a fuck anymore.
No, which I mean, good for them.
Really good for them. Like, I'm really happy about that because I feel like, and every time I see it on like, Twitter or whatever, when the Twitter and when the Xbox and PlayStation Twitter accounts interact and they're like, can't wait to play this game on PlayStation, or like, have a great launch day or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I see that shit and I just roll my eyes. I'm like, holy shit, you guys are competing companies. You don't have to be out, like, you don't have to openly be dickbags to each other, but like, can we put away the phony bullshit? Like, I see that shit and I just think straight back to like, Sega does what Nintendo don't. And like,
yeah, seriously, I miss that kind of stuff. Yeah. It was like fun play.
It was fun. It was edgy. It was like, and I think that it's just because we're old, Tim, but like, we're getting old. We're not old yet, but like, I think it's just because we're getting old and we miss that stuff.
Yep.
So I don't know. I appreciate Nintendo's not caring.
Next we had a huge montage. First up was SpongeBob. 3D platformer. Looks good. Like, it looks like a good SpongeBob game. I might actually check this out.
Looked like a very simple but like very competent 3D platformer. I'm down.
Yep. Next we had fitness boxing, Fist of the North Star. This one I was like, oh god, it's Fist of the North Star. We're getting a fighting game. This is awesome. Oh, it's a rhythm game. All right, you've lost me.
Yeah, for real. A rhythm punching game. That just seems so weird, and like I just think that if you're really fighting that hard with your brain to like push your brain to think outside the box, then force yourself to use the Ring Fit ring so that we can get some more value out of that thing.
Seriously, why hasn't that gotten any more support?
I don't know. And it really seems like because Ring Fit sold a fuck ton of units. And like it really does seem like just such a perfect tool for Nintendo to use. I just don't know that they would. I don't know.
Another in a long line of Nintendo peripherals that only got one use.
Yeah, and it's probably like a logistical thing. They don't want to have to sell it individually. So you would have to buy Ring Fit if you want to play this game, which like that'll turn people off and tank the sales of a certain game. Or you have to package another game with the ring, but then everyone who owns Ring Fit would have to buy another ring. It's like it's undoubtedly a logistical thing, but it's a shame.
Yeah. Next we had Oddballs. This was the Gang Beast-esque looking Mario Party game. Bunch of mini games and stuff. Looked all right. I like if it's $10, I'll buy it. Like it looks like I could have fun with it.
Yeah, it looked like Gang Beasts, Mario Party, and Fall Guys.
Yep.
Yeah, $10. I would pick that up. Like $10 if we had like four or five people who were like, yeah, let's play this game. You know, $10, one night of fun. I'm down. But that being said, there are better party games or at least party games that look better. And I will play those ones.
Yep. Next we had Tunic. Now this I'm kind of excited for. I'm glad that it's finally coming to Switch. What I'm not too happy about is that it looked like it was struggling on the Switch.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned that earlier, and I like went back and rewatched the trailer for that one too. Really looked like it was struggling, like really struggling to keep 30 FPS. And this one is like a perfect Switch game because it's so obviously, and like the creator has even been very vocal about like, no, I am extremely inspired by Legend of Zelda. It's so obviously inspired by like the old Zeldas.
Yep.
And then like it looks fantastic, but looks like it's got some performance issues. Looks like it's running at like sub 720p. It just doesn't look good on Switch. And it's the perfect Switch game. So it's just a real shame.
Yeah.
But September 27th, right around the corner.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm hoping that it looked as such just because of the trailer and the video and that it actually works well. I'm going to wait until reviews come out for the Switch port to possibly pick it up on that.
Yeah.
Then we got the Front Mission remakes. I know you didn't know anything about the Front Mission games, but
never heard of these games ever.
They're tactical games, very similar in the same vein of Fire Emblem, but with mechs. A lot of customizability. We never got, I don't think, more than the first one over here in America, anyways. So it'll be good to see the other two come over.
Okay.
I've never played them. Tactic games aren't really my thing either, so I probably won't be picking this up. But
for the people who are into it.
Yep, I'm definitely happy for them to get more of good tactics. Because those games are supposed to be great.
Yeah, it seems like tactics games are kind of the Switch's bread and butter, except not exactly because farm sims are Switch's bread and butter these days. But like those kind of like those games that don't demand, real time action.
Yeah. I mean, if you like farm games, we got good farm games like Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life.
Oh, geez, that was the next one on the list. Oh my God, Story of Seasons.
You're welcome.
So
Thank you for that great lead-in.
I legitimately wasn't trying to do that. It just happens. Story of Seasons. It's the true Harvest Moon.
Yep.
Because if I understand correctly, some company bought the company that made Harvest Moon, and then now they make Harvest Moon games that really, really suck. And the original creators of Harvest Moon went and started their own studio and started making Story of Seasons that are like supposedly okay, but ultimately everyone's just trying to be Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could say the same thing about every single farming sim that we're gonna be going through here. It's just they saw Stardew Valley came out, saw it had magic success, and now they're trying to develop something in like relation to that, trying to attempt to reach that market. But like Haunted Chocolatier was announced earlier this year, and that's gonna take up most of that market anyway. So
yeah, it's kind of, we're seeing the lag of like Stardew hit and it blew up, and then a bunch of other developers were like, "Oh my God, we got to make a farm sim," and that's how we wound up with like 4 farm sims and 1 Nintendo Direct.
I want to say there's like 5 or 6.
Oh God, so bad. And we already have so many on Switch. Like they're already there. This was like, I would say, okay, 4 really involved farm sims for 1 console, that's acceptable. Like 4 really involved ones for 1 console, okay, you have some options. More than 4, it's getting a little excessive. 4 for 1 fucking presentation? What are we doing? Like, who is buying these games?
It like, honestly, this whole Direct, and I know a lot of people will say this too, it feels like this was in preparation for the Tokyo Game Show. Like they were trying to cater towards their Japanese and, like that market. Like this doesn't feel like there was a whole lot here for the Western market.
Well, yeah, Europe. Absolutely. And like it kind of harkens back to the like kind of what we were saying about like Nintendo, just they don't give a fuck anymore. And like they started the Switch making games for everyone across the globe. And the Nintendo Directs back in like 2017, 2018 were very much like, hey, here's something for everyone. And now the Switch obviously has found massive success worldwide, but specifically in Japan, the Switch is just king. And this Direct really felt like Nintendo was just like, you know what? Fuck it. We know our demographic, we know our target audience, and it's the Japanese market. And so we are going to advertise to them. And like, I don't fault them at all for that. That being said, they showed like basically nothing that I'm interested in except Zelda. Yeah.
But that was Story of Seasons. We got a Splatoon update, getting the first Splatfest of the season.
3.45 million copies of Splatoon sold in Japan. Splatoon 3 already sold in Japan.
And you know that game just came out Friday.
Yeah.
It has been
days.
4 days.
Yeah. 4 days. 3.45 million. That's like Call of Duty numbers.
Yep. And that's just in Japan.
I know. Like, what?
Yeah,
just
like
stupid successful.
Splatoon is huge. Like, it's great. My only problem with it is I don't feel like there's enough every iteration to warrant buying it anymore every iteration. So
yeah, so I've heard a lot of people criticizing Splatoon 3 as like, oh, it's just Splatoon 2.5. And I heard a lot of people criticizing Splatoon 2 as like, oh, it's just Splatoon 1.5. And so like, is Splatoon 3 just like Splatoon 2 or what Splatoon 2 should have been?
I haven't played it. Couldn't tell you.
But gotcha. Because you're not going to buy it.
Yeah, because there are other games this holiday season that I just care for more.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, good for Nintendo, right? Splatoon is a relatively new IP, honestly. Just started on the Wii U, and it is just
it's taken off like
crushing
way
it.
more than I expected it to. Like when I saw it years ago, I think it was like, all right, cool, this will be a one-off shooter from Nintendo. Cool.
Yeah, I guess the expectation, and granted, I wouldn't have been able to like assign this game as like, oh, this is what I expect from Splatoon, because it wasn't out back then. But like when I first saw Splatoon, I thought like I would have thought it would have been like ARMS. Like, you know, some people liked it. It didn't. It sold it well enough that we remember it, but like it didn't sell well enough to get a sequel. And then like here we are, what, 8 years later, Splatoon 3 is the single biggest video game launch in Japanese history. Like, never would have guessed that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have either. Like I said, I expected it to be a one-off. I expected it to showcase the gyro controls of the Wii U and have a fun little shooter, and that would be it.
Yeah, totally.
But here we are.
All right, what was next?
Well, you'll never see it coming, but it's not Persona. It's Octopath Traveler 2.
Okay. I actually, I didn't see this coming, and
I don't know anyone who saw this coming. Like we haven't heard rumors or anything about this.
Nothing. And like, were there any hints? Did anyone have they? Yeah, I don't know. This was a shock.
Not from anyone I follow. Not from anything I've heard.
Yeah,
but like, still pretty good. The 2D HD still looks beautiful. Like
I love it.
Yeah, like the art style is still fucking amazing.
It makes me wish that I liked the games that use the HD 2D. Mm-hmm. Because they're just not really games for me. But it really makes me wish that they were.
Now you were talking about something earlier about the logo. I didn't exactly go back and look at what you meant about it.
Okay, Google it real quick. Google the Octopath Traveler 2 logo, because let's look at and I noticed this right when, like, during the direct when I was watching it live. If you look at the logo and you go down and you like go down to the bottom, look at the bottom of the 2. There's like a ridge
on the right side.
On both sides, there's like a little ridge at the bottom of each pillar of the 2. And it makes it looks like they're actual pillars. And so I don't know anything about Octopath Traveler besides it's 8 different stories. And so I was like, I asked you because I thought maybe you had played it, but you hadn't. I just don't know anything about like the iconography of the game. Yeah. But there's that ridge at the bottom of the 2, but it's not at the top. And so it's definitely intentional. And it's not just part of the typeface. I think that like it's something. I just don't know what it is.
An allegory for sex. I don't know.
Well, you see, it's an allegory for Hitler and his struggle.
Oh, God.
God.
All right, we're done here. We're canceled. Bye, guys.
Yeah. See ya.
All right. Well, I hope you like farming sims. It's our next montage.
Are you serious?
Has a couple of them.
Oh, my God. So this is 3. We're on number 3.
Yep. This was Fae Farm. This was honestly probably the best looking of all of them.
Not even honestly, probably just far and away the best looking of all. It was the only one I looked at and I thought, oh, I might buy that for Jillian.
Yep. Looks like it's gonna have multiplayer elements, which I'll definitely have a little bit of fun with some friends doing that. But yeah, another farming sim. Not much else to say.
They're just not for me. And I don't know. Jillian loves them. Jillian, how many hours did you put in Stardew Valley? God, like too many. And that's after like 500 hours of Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Next, we've got Theater Rhythm, Final Fantasy.
35th anniversary, as you so kindly reminded me earlier, or pointed out earlier. Not the 35th anniversary of Theater Rhythm, 35th anniversary of Final Fantasy. which made me feel very dumb because I thought 35th anniversary of Theater Rhythm, and I've never fucking heard of this game. Nope. Final Fantasy, the game that you have heard about nonstop for your entire life.
I chuckled a little inside when I realized I had to explain it.
Oh man, I'm
but
done.
I'm not a huge rhythm game guy. I'm awful at them. Like DDR, Guitar Hero, they're fun games, but I'm always been awful at them.
So the only rhythm games that I've ever been down with are Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, loads of songs. I mean, 300 something songs in the base game, and then you can spend extra money on the deluxe packs for like over 500 songs. Which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of content. Like you got to just think of it in terms of like content. And that's a lot of content. But still, like I've never heard of rhythm or Theater Rhythm, and I have never cared about Final Fantasy. So this is just a combination that's like great. I hope people have fun with that.
I know my friend Dallin was super hyped for this because he really enjoys Final Fantasy and rhythm games, so he was super on board.
And you're a big Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah, but I'm not a huge rhythm game fan, so it's probably still going to be a pass for me. But I am excited for it.
Gotcha. Cool.
Next, we had a little bit more to see on Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Looks like it's going to be more of a free roam adventure. I think they mentioned this previously, but we actually got to see it in action during this trailer.
Did they mention that previously? Because this was the first I had heard of it. Granted, I haven't followed this game super closely.
I feel like they did mention it previously. Like
it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't remember when. I think it might have been during the last Direct, maybe back in like February, but I don't remember.
It also looked like it had like a little more of RPG stuff to it.
Mm-hmm. It looked like the sparks were like upgrades that you were going to be equipping to your characters that do special abilities.
Yeah, like not necessarily upgrades, but modifiers, right?
Yeah, that's a better word for it.
And that's a cool element for sure.
Yep. Like I don't know if I'll pick this one up. I might not. I loved the first one, what I played of it, but I never finished it. And I don't know if I want to pay $60, $70 for a game that I might not finish again.
Yeah, see, like I'm in the same boat. I enjoyed the first one. I think I paid like $15, and I played it for 10 hours, maybe 8 hours, and I didn't finish it. But like, I liked my time with it. Definitely not enough for $60 for a second one. Honestly, like it'll have to get down to like 15 at the most for me to be like, oh, maybe I'll buy that game.
Yeah. I guess. Hey, guess what? I'll give you one guess of what's next.
Fourth one. Is this the fourth one?
This is the fourth one. This is Rune Factory 3. This is a remake / remastered. I don't know which of which, because I never played the original. But
there are more than 4. Yep. Holy shit.
Yep. The Rune Factory games are supposed to be really good. I mean, you can marry waifus and do all other stuff in this one. So,
hey, I'm down with any game where I can marry a waifu. So,
yep.
Rune Factory 3, congratulations. You're now our farm sim leader. Leader of the pack, but there's lots of competition, so don't get too comfortable.
Yep. Next we had probably one of the biggest things of the Direct, in my opinion, the N64 games.
Yeah,
that are going to be coming in the future.
This was, I think that this was kind of a make good, kind of an apology for like, hey, we know you want GameCube, we know you want Game Boy Advance. You're not getting either of these, but here's some really good N64 games.
Really good N64 games. Like every single one they showed today is a really good game. Starting with Pilot Wings. I personally never played Pilot Wings 64, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. It would be nice to finally get a chance to play it.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's better than the first one. You know what? I'm just gonna say it's the best Pilot Wings. It's better than the
Okay,
first one. It's better than the third one. I like Pilot Wings 64.
perfect. We also got Mario Parties 1, 2, and 3. This was
This
exciting and also really disappointing.
it was like the definition of bittersweet.
Yeah. Because yeah, we're getting 3 great Mario Party games, lots of good mini games, fantastic boards, but it also feels like Nintendo has essentially abandoned Mario Party Superstars.
Well, yeah, I mean it totally cannibalizes Superstars, and like it has to be I mean it completely cannibalizes Superstars, and I have always been of the opinion like Mario Party should be a platform, right? It should be just something that Nintendo is basically constantly developing new content for, and constantly dropping like, you know, 3 new boards a year, 20 new mini games a year. And like, hey, this goes directly into Nintendo Switch online expansion pass or whatever, like the expansion pack. And it's like Nintendo is like Mario Party should be a platform, Mario Kart should be a platform, Smash should be a platform. Nintendo is like everyone is trying to make it's a platform. You know, Assassin's Creed Infinity, The Division, Halo Infinite. Like everyone is trying Destiny. Everyone is trying to make a platform. And honestly, they shouldn't. But Nintendo, they're like the only guys that should, and they don't. And Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, I'm super pumped. I love Mario Party. But like you said, it's just it kills it completely destroys any hope for Superstars.
Which is really sad because I mean, well, like when they started making also new content for Mario Kart, I was like, oh, cool. Maybe we're going to get some of the same treatment for Superstars because there are a bunch of old boards and old minigames you can still pull in for this. And
yeah,
we haven't gotten anything.
Like it's just sitting there waiting to be remade. And like people will buy it. People will buy it again because having one Mario Party, like, and that's why it needs to be a platform, is because like there should be one Mario Party game where you can play all of the Mario Party content, period. And people would buy that, and people would continue. Like if it became like a mainstay for like your friends get-togethers or whatever, like, oh yeah, you know, we get together once a week or a couple times a month or whatever, and we have beers and we have dinner and we talk and whatever, and we end up playing Mario Party. Whoever's
someone
house
loses
that is,
a tooth,
they are going to buy Mario. They're going to buy all of the content.
Yep.
In perpetuity, forever. They will buy that content forever.
Yeah. So yeah, like we said, bittersweet. Next we got Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. Pretty cool. I'm excited. Pokemon Stadium.
Pretty cool. Pokemon Stadium. Go ahead.
Only thing I'm going to be interested in seeing if there's going to be a way to transfer Pokemon to it. Because I know that was a huge part of it. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck with the rental Pokemon, which are less than desirable.
Yeah.
But
so trading Pokemon to it, or like transferring Pokemon, because if I recall correctly, and I only ever played Stadium 1. Actually my single most vivid memory associated with Stadium 1 was I rented it and I started playing it bright and early in the morning. And I was so in love with it that I didn't eat and I didn't drink anything all day. And I just sat there and played Pokemon Stadium, and I got super dehydrated. And it is my first memory of like what would turn out to be lifelong migraines.
Oh, jeez.
So, but like I remember my head just hurting so bad, but I still couldn't stop playing Pokemon Stadium. And so I was just sitting there in total misery, but like I would not stop playing Pokemon Stadium. But yeah, as far as like bringing the Pokemon in, because Stadium 1 interacted with red version and blue version, and I would love to see them like bring that back in a way, but they would have to like reopen support for the 3DS because that's the most recent system to support to have red and blue, right? And so like I mean they're not going to do that. That's just not happening.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame.
We'll still be able to experience it though. So
yeah,
at
sure.
At the very least, you can challenge yourself with the Pokemon Stadium rental randomizer gym challenge.
Yeah, and you know what? Like it's a shame. I would love to be able to bring those Pokemon in, but honestly, like the series itself has evolved so far beyond Stadium that like we don't need it. We can play a much better version of basically everything when like Scarlet and Violet come out, right? So cool, but not super necessary, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Next, we got a couple sports games: 1080 snowboarding and Excitebike 64. Excitebike, I'm excited for. I know you are too.
Yeah, I loved Excitebike when I was a kid, but mostly and like my biggest memory is Excite Truck on the Wii. That shit was amazing. Yeah,
that game is fantastic. Very much a hidden gem on the Wii, I'd say, because I don't know many other people have played it besides us.
Yeah, so you mentioned today you were like, oh yeah, I played Excite Truck, and like I've never met anyone else who has even heard of that game, and I played that game for hours and hours and hours. It's so fun.
Yep. Yeah, unlocking the super truck at the end that just has constant infinite boost.
Yes, exactly.
Freaking amazing.
Oh man, I loved Excite Truck. And you know what? I think I bought a copy on I either bought a copy at Bull Moose or on eBay a couple years ago. And because I was like, I gotta have Excite Truck in my collection.
Yep.
1080, didn't play it.
I might have played it on PlayStation. I know there was one that on PlayStation that I played at a friend's house a lot. I just don't ever remember the name of it. It might have been 1080.
Cool Borders. 1080 was actually a Nintendo first party game.
Okay, so it was probably Cool Borders then.
Yeah, and I played Cool Borders too. Like at that age, I played not Cool Borders 2. I played Cool Borders as well. At that age, I played Cool Borders 3 and Cool Borders 4. And then as soon as we moved into the 6th generation, I played SSX.
Yep. Same. But great for 1080 fans. I'll probably check it out. I mean, it's a snowboarding game, so.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we had one more final surprise announcement. GoldenEye.
Finally happened.
Yep. It's finally coming to N64 Switch Online. With online multiplayer. So you and your friends don't even need to be in the same room to shoot at each other in one of the greatest multiplayer experiences of all time.
Okay, and here's something ridiculous. Online multiplayer exclusive to Switch.
Yep.
It's not coming to Xbox. What the fuck? Like
that is insane to me. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, we're just gonna take the console with the worst online infrastructure, and that's the one we're gonna go with.
Makes perfect sense. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh God, so stupid. I'm super pumped for this. I'm probably gonna play it on Xbox, but I'm super super excited for GoldenEye, and I think part of that excitement is just because you and I are like, we've gone back to GoldenEye and we are very aware that like GoldenEye not that good.
It hasn't aged well.
No, not at all. I'm really excited for all of the people who haven't played it since like N64 days to go back to it and realize like, yeah, GoldenEye is not very good. Like definitely one that's like, should have left that in the memory. But I'm hoping on Xbox that they somehow manage to like implement some sort of dual stick controls.
Yeah, one would certainly hope that they go in that direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, but wait a minute. You're telling me you're going to play on Xbox. You're not going to face me on Switch. All right, I get it. You're scared. It's fine.
I mean,
you don't have to admit it.
Okay. Here's the thing. I will play on Switch. The reason I want to play on Xbox is because Switch has the like already pre-established like this is how we map N64 controls. So my hopes for a proper dual stick control scheme are much higher on Xbox. And I think that it honestly wouldn't be that hard because GoldenEye already has dual stick control scheme. Like on N64 it does. It's just like there is a control scheme option on the N64 to play that game single player with two controllers. And so you sit there and you hold like the middle prong of each controller and you have your right stick and your left stick.
That's a thing?
Yep.
Huh.
It's really wild.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. It's honestly, it's kind of worth doing. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to probably be playing on my N64 controller anyways, because I have a Titan 1 that allows me to map it directly to to act as a Pro controller. So.
Ooh, I'm Tim. I have a Titan 1. I'm going to stomp Patrick because I have a Pro controller.
Yep.
Fuck you,
well,
Tim.
It was pay $50 for a Titan 1 or pay $100 for the Switch N64 controller.
Yeah, like the official one. Ugh.
Yeah, because people are scalping the hell out of it.
Ridiculous.
And they still haven't released like a second or third wave of the damn controller.
They haven't? I feel like they've done like multiple waves of the Super Nintendo one since they announced the N64 one.
I haven't seen a second wave. If it's happened, so I've just missed it. But like, yeah, I haven't seen it, which sucks because I really want one.
That's really annoying. Yeah, that would be a really cool thing. Like if you could get it for MSRP, it's like, yeah, I mean, totally. I would buy one of those. But when they announced like the Nintendo Shop exclusivity for the NES one, in that moment, I just like completely switched my brain off from those controllers. I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to get these. And that's okay.
Yep. Next we have another, I guess, bunch of headlines.
Yeah, they were like more headlines.
Yep. Various Day Life. This one looked all right. It launches today, so if you were interested, go check it out. But I don't know. This one didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I don't remember this one at all.
It was RPG style. Looked like you were like running around town, like helping people out, kind of thing. I don't remember if this was exactly had farming stuff in it, but it might have.
Yeah. Probably.
Considering the direct, it might have. And we got Factorio, great management sim game. Played a lot of it on PC. I know a lot of friends who absolutely love it. Ethan loves it.
Loves it. Really, really big community on Steam.
Yeah. So
Factorio, people love it.
Great to see it come to Switch. Ib, pretty awesome horror game. I've seen it before. I haven't actually played it, but I might actually pick it up now that's coming to Switch. So.
I loved the art style of this one. Like horror, like 2D horror. If you can make something 2D really scary, then that's talent. And Ib looks scary. So I will probably wait for a sale, but I'll probably buy this one.
Yep. Then we had Mario Strikers Battle League. We have the free update coming with Pauline, sorry.
The final, hey, this is what should have been in the game when it launched.
Yep. And we got Diddy. So Diddy's pretty cool. I'm excited for that.
I love Diddy. Did you buy this game?
I didn't. I skipped out on it.
I heard it was terrible.
I haven't heard anything either way. I don't know any of my friends that actually got it. So,
yeah, none of my friends have bought it, but I like podcasts and like YouTube and stuff that I watch. I've heard it's just like god awful, very much incomplete. Like not enough players, not enough characters, not enough modes. Like really, really bad game. So, Yeah, I mean, this seems like just like, hey, we're adding stuff that should have been in the game at launch, and we're disguising it as free DLC.
Yep.
Dumb.
Yeah, but like I'm just glad to see Diddy actually getting some love.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Don't get me wrong. It's hard to find someone who loves Diddy Kong as much as I do.
Next, we got a brand new look at the Mario Kart 8 DLC Wave 3 coming soon. We only got to see 2 levels. Merry Mountain from Mario Kart Tour. It looks like a Christmas-themed Mario Kart Tour level. Glad to see that they're still bringing more tour courses in, because I didn't play Mario Kart Tour, and it's good to see that it's actually getting love.
And so they're like new courses to me, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
This is great. Now, like, these courses were designed for a Mario Kart game, like basically the only Mario Kart game that I don't want to play. And now they're being brought into real Mario Kart, and it's like brand new, and I'm super pumped on it.
Pretty exciting. Then we got Peach Gardens from Mario Kart DS. I remember this level being pretty good from the DS days. I haven't played that game in like 15 years, but I remember the level at least, so that's something.
Loved this level on DS. Loved this level on Mario Kart Wii. Peach Gardens is like, I'm not going to say it's one of my favorite tracks, but it's one of the most memorable for me. I remember like the actual route of the track very well.
Yep.
Big hairpin turn right at the end.
Oh yeah. Next thing we saw, the free update for Switch Sports. It's going to be golf with survival golf up to 8 players. This isn't coming for a little while, but they have mentioned that they're working on it. So
yeah, coming this holiday, 21 holes from the Wii Sports Golf. I don't know. I bought Switch Sports, but I haven't played it, and
yeah,
I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure that I'll play it. I'm sure it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get it. I feel like it's more of a party game, and where I live right now, I don't really have friends to party with. So it's one of those, even though it has the online, it's just not as appealing to me.
Yeah, exactly. And like Wii Sports, awesome game. I love Wii Sports. Yep. But I don't know.
Next, we got to see Shigeru Miyamoto come on screen and talk about Pikmin Bloom. That was all that he said. Nothing else happened. Old man trolled us today.
I'm sorry, Tim, but he did talk about a few other things. So I'm not going to let you off. Do it.
Pikmin 4. Finally. Holy
shit. Tim, you are skipping the bad things.
No, we don't need to talk about those other bad things. Those don't exist.
Okay, Pikmin 4. I wrote a piece earlier this year called Cold Case, What Happened to Pikmin 4? And you know what? I will leave a link in the description on that, because he started talking about Pikmin 4 like 8 years ago. He said, yeah, Pikmin 4 is like very far along in development. Super excited about it. And then afterward, when it just never showed up, a bunch of people were like, oh, well, I guess he was just like referring to the next Pikmin, which turned out to be Hey Pikmin. Yep. I don't think so. I think he was talking about Pikmin 4, and it's just had trouble. It's probably been rebooted a few times internally, and now we're finally seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, what little we got to see of it, it looked pretty. It's more Pikmin. I'll probably get it. I love the Pikmin games. So.
Yeah, I enjoy Pikmin. I haven't played a ton of it, but I don't know. I don't think I'll get this one, but it's whatever.
Yeah. I'll probably pick it up. Since you want to talk about them, he did mention the Mario Brothers movie is coming next spring, and you and I have talked this to death. But there's no world in which this is a serious movie. It's going to be completely ridiculous, and I don't know at this point.
Yeah, and like I mentioned it to you, you look at the cast. It's an all-star cast, right? Chris Pratt, yep. Anya Taylor-Joy, Seth Rogen, Jack Black. Keenan, is it is it Keegan-Michael Key or
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Like all-star cast. How did they attract such an all-star cast if it's not good?
Yeah, it's interesting to think about.
But like, how is it good? You know, like it can't possibly be good
until it becomes like one of the greatest movies of all time. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Also mentioned a little bit about Super Nintendo World opening in Universal Hollywood. They don't have a date for it, but they said sometime within the next year or two. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I'm not a theme park guy, so I don't really care, but it is what it is.
I mean, if I'm ever in LA, I'll take a day to check it out. But
yeah,
otherwise,
absolutely. I'm not like gonna go to LA to go to Super Nintendo World, but like I totally agree. If I'm there and I have time, I'll go check it out. But and you know what? I'll go check it out and I'll have fun doing it. But I'm not like dying to go do it.
Yep. Next we had another headline section. We're just gonna breeze through these ones.
Yeah.
Just Dance. Just Dance. We're still just dancing, apparently, after all these years. I don't know how they're still making these games, but
another one that it's like, how is this not a platform?
Yep. Guess what?
Oh, Jesus, 5.
Another farming sim. Harvestella. We actually saw this earlier this year at the I think it was the Square Enix.
The Square showcase at E3.
Yep. So we already saw this, so I was like, okay, why are we seeing this again? It didn't really do anything for me because it didn't do anything the first time.
And I mean, like, not to mention, it didn't do anything for you, and you're sitting there questioning, like, okay, why are we seeing this again? And
also, why are we seeing this like with 9 minutes left to go in the direct when like the only thing that we've really seen so far are the N64 games and Pikmin 4?
Exactly. We haven't had anything really great. There's like 9 minutes left in the direct, and like, how did this like run of show get cleared, right? So they have to look at, okay, what trailers are we going to do, what segments are we going to do? Who looked at this list and said, yeah, you know what, 5 farming sims, let's do that. And so especially like Harvestella seems like the very obvious one to get cut from that list because, like you said, we've already seen it.
Yep. Next we got Bayonetta 3. Pretty exciting. This one's coming out October 28th now.
Yeah, got a release date.
Yep. Super awesome. A little bit before God of War, so they don't really have to deal with that, which is nice.
Yeah, they're far enough away from God of War that people will be able to play both. It looks really, really... another one like Fatal Frame that just on Switch looks fantastic.
Yep. Next we had Rain Code. This was it looks like it was being made by the people who did Danganronpa, which are really good games. So supposed to be some kind of detective like game. I'm not very interested in it, but good for Danganronpa fans.
I liked the atmosphere a lot. Seemed like just very minorly cyberpunky. I liked
that. Next we had RE Village Cloud version.
Jesus, 4 fucking Cloud games.
All the Resident Evil games that they've come out within the past few years. It's like, all right, cool, here we go. You can play them on Switch, but in the worst way possible on the cloud. Congratulations. Go. Fucking Christ. I can't recommend this to anybody. Go play it elsewhere. Seriously, if you're going to play them, go play them elsewhere. If it's the only console you have, I still can't even recommend this to you.
Yeah, like, if you have no other way to play video games, just don't play these games. And, like, if you have a Mac, go play this on Mac before you play it on Switch. Which, like, that's,
It's sad how I'd choose a Mac over a Switch in, terms of a game, but you're right.
Yeah, and like, I mean that to be insulting. If you have a Mac, and like Resident Evil 8 was at Apple's WWDC event earlier this summer, and like it's coming to Mac. If you have a Mac, well, it's probably best to play Resident Evil 8. If you have a Mac and a Switch and you really want to play Resident Evil 8, play it on your Mac.
Ugh, God, I can't believe I'm endorsing Mac. Fuck.
I know.
All right.
Has
Next
hell
we had
frozen over?
Sifu.
Someone check.
Yeah. Next we have Sifu. This looked all right. I don't know much to say about this game.
I didn't
don't
know that
much
this
about
was
it,
third party.
so.
I thought that this was the whatever the developer was Sony first party. I had no idea. So when this one showed up, I was like, "Whoa, really?" And turns out third party. I've heard it's really hard. I don't want to play it.
It gave me I don't know, the combat system style gave me like Arkham / Spider-Man vibes in the way that like it had the counter system and then the beatdowns. So I mean, it looked interesting. I might try it, but who knows?
You know what the visuals and like the camera angles specifically kind of reminded me of was did you play Jackie Chan Stuntmaster on the original PlayStation?
No, I never did.
Oh, so first of all, great game. Second, yeah, that's kind of what Sifu looks like, is like a modern Jackie Chan stunt fighter.
Okay. Next we got Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion. I'll probably be picking this up. Not sure if I'll be getting it on Switch, but good to know that it's actually getting the support for it.
Yeah, you're a big Final Fantasy guy, and this one, you know, it looks cool, and like I'm super stoked that everything they're doing with Final Fantasy VII in particular. And like I'm not a Final Fantasy guy. I don't play Final Fantasy VII. I'm not interested. But like Remake, Rebirth, Crisis Core, didn't they announce I think they announced another spinoff. They're like turning FF7 into its own entirely its own franchise, and I think that that's really creative and cool.
Yeah, they're taking what was already a great original story and they're expanding upon it. They'd already had a couple of these games and they're re-releasing them, which is kind of nice to see. But now people will be able to play them all in one place.
Yeah,
which is going to be fabulous. So I won't have to actually go buy a PSP to play this game anymore.
Exactly. PSP.
Radiant, yeah. Radiant Silvergun. Shoot 'em up.
Whoa.
Not much to say about this one.
Really, really testing my patience as we're winding down a direct. I still haven't seen Twilight Princess HD, and you show me a shmup?
Yeah.
Who the fuck do you think you are, Nintendo? Again, big old balls. They don't care. I'm mad, and they're just laughing.
Hey, I'm laughing too. Yeah, this I felt nothing for this game. Endless Dungeon. Roguelike dungeon crawler. This one looked interesting.
Looked really cool.
I might, at this point, I was still like, come on, where's Metroid Prime remastered?
Where is Twilight Princess? And this game looked really cool. I don't like roguelikes. I don't like dungeon crawlers. This game looked awesome. And it was still soured by okay, where the fuck is the good stuff?
Yep. And then we got a surprise announcement, which honestly is one of my favorites of the Direct. Tales of Symphonia remastered. So I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast, but Tales of Symphonia is my favorite RPG of all time. So being able to go back and play a remastered version of it on the Switch, I'm going to be sinking another probably 1,000 hours into this game.
Nice. That's really exciting. I'm excited for you. It's like if Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay just randomly got remade and just looked gorgeous and had all new audio and everything.
Yep.
I'm sure that you wouldn't be into it, but it's you would see me just bursting at the seams with excitement. And so
you'd be gushing about it.
Right. And so this is the flip side of, I have no interest in playing Tales of Symphonia myself, but I know that it's a very popular game. I know that it's very widely regarded as one of the best RPGs of all time. Super pumped for you.
The only thing I have to and you mentioned this when we were talking about it earlier this morning. They focused on the wrong characters to sell this game.
Okay, so in our conversation earlier, I'm sitting here watching this trailer, and they say a lumberjack who lost her emotions in an experiment, and I'm like, what? This is what I'm watching when I could be seeing Twilight Princess HD or Wind Waker HD or Metroid Prime Remake. I'm watching a lumber, and it's not the story. Like, Tim, you filled me in on the story. The story is cool.
Yep.
But the way they described it, a lumberjack who lost her emotions after an experiment. Like, what the fuck?
It is the most baseline description you could have given for Persea without, like, giving anything away. And it was such a bad way to do it, too. And fuck,
Yes.
like, Nintendo, like, showed us so many other titties. This, like,
I know.
like, why not show Sheena? Like, come on. That would have sold you way more copies. I can guarantee it.
I mean, honestly, just tell the story. Like what you told me on the story, you took like 20 seconds and told me the story, the same story that they told me with like a lumberjack who lost her emotions, but you just gave me more detail and it's awesome. And it's like, just tell me the story. You don't even have to have anime titties. Like, just tell me the story. It's really cool and it would sell me on the game.
Yeah, I mean, God, this game's been out for 20 years now. So, I don't know.
And that's the best they can do. A lumberjack who lost her emotions. After
I question the decisions of who they highlighted in this, but, great game. Go play it. I cannot endorse it enough.
All right.
And next we got Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I wasn't expecting this either, considering we just got other Kirby games. They are on a roll lately with this stuff.
This will be 3 Kirby games inside of a year.
Yeah, it's insane to me.
Granted, I have heard Dream Buffet is terrible.
I've heard it's very Fall Guys like. So if you like Fall Guys, it's okay. But like, I have no interest.
Yeah, okay. So with this one, I have not finished a Kirby game since Dreamland when I was a kid on my Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
But I always kind of give myself shit and like get mad at myself for not playing Kirby games because like the character of Kirby, I love him. I think Kirby is one of Nintendo's coolest characters. He just, and I don't know what it was about that era because like Kirby got really cool in kind of the Super Nintendo era, right? And it was just something about that era that they figured out how to make characters cool. Like Kirby was cool. Donkey Kong wore a tie. Diddy had a cool t-shirt and a hat. Like they made characters really cool and Kirby was one of them. And I feel like, at least in my mind, Kirby has never lost his cool. And everyone, like, it's a very classic like internet thing to say of, oh, why is Kirby always mad in North America? And like, he has the angry eyes on North American box art and he doesn't on other box art. I like the angry eyes. It makes him like, it takes him from like, oh, here's this puffy little fluff ball, and it makes him like somewhat interesting and of like he's like, yes, he is this puffy little fluff ball, but like he's also arguably one of the most powerful characters in all of Nintendo history. He could basically end the world by just sucking it up. And like, yeah, he's got angry eyes. It gives the character some depth. I love Kirby as a character. I'm totally down for Return to Dreamland.
I wish I had the audio clip of Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story 2 saying, "Here comes Mr. Angry Eyes," because that's all I can think of right now.
Yeah. Here comes Mr. Angry Eyes. Yeah, that's
pulls out his shoes and just okay.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying about that.
Yeah, but this was kind of exciting. I'm a little disappointed that the co-op's only couch co-op, but that's mainly because I just don't have anyone to play it with. But yeah, I'm happy for Kirby. Nightmare in Dreamland is still probably going to be my favorite. But
Nightmare in Dreamland, was that GBA?
Yeah, it was the remake of the NES version, but then added a bunch of extra stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, very cool. I mean, I'm really, this one is like, I'm excited for this.
Yep. Okay, we're down to our last trailer. And it was Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
AKA Breath of the Wild 2.
So I can see why they didn't want to do the direct in Europe for this one, considering the name.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate timing for Nintendo in that regards.
And like full disclosure, I didn't even realize it until I saw someone say it on Reddit, and I was like, oh. Because there was that rumor that like, oh, they're considering delaying the direct because of the Queen's death. And I was like, why the fuck would they do that? And then I
this
thought,
is why they would have done that.
yeah, exactly. And I thought like, oh, it must be something in the direct that's like maybe offensive somehow. And so I was like keeping my eye out for it the entire time. And then we got to Breath of the Wild, and I was just like, oh, this is like, I guess I just lost. I wasn't concentrating. I guess it was just probably too many farm sim games in my head. But yeah,
hey, man, I can't blame you on that front. I gave you 6.
Tears of the Kingdom. What do you think of the title?
Honestly, it's one of the lesser titles, I think, in the past few years as far as Zelda goes.
Yeah.
But I like it. I think it's pretty indicative of what we're going to be dealing with, and especially that like mural of Zelda falling. I feel like, is Zelda die in the beginning of this? Like, is that what the Tears of the Kingdom refers to when we're just going on a quest to like revive her or figure something else out? What this new entity is?
Man,
like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot to think about here.
Have you seen No Time to Die?
No, I haven't.
Okay, never mind. I was going to spoil that, but never mind.
Okay.
I watched No Time to Die. It's fantastic. Yeah, no, I like this one. It kind of gave me Skyward Sword vibes, like with the very distinct, like there's kind of the sky world and the lower world, and like I don't know, it looked great. I'm really excited. I'm more excited than ever for it. Tears of the Kingdom, not a great title, but honestly, neither is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I mean, their naming conventions over the past few years have kind of gone downhill. I mean, Triforce Heroes.
Yeah. Well, you see, they're the Triforce and they're heroes, so
it makes perfect sense.
I think you know what I want to call this game.
Why is this a fashion sim? Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, so Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, both pretty bad names. But well, not bad, just not good. But the thing that I think frustrates me most and kind of sours the name for me in my mind is they told us, hey, we can't tell you the name of the game because it's a spoiler. And I was always thinking like, well, that's stupid because it's not like I'm going to go buy the game and it's going to be like covered. The name is going to be covered up on the box and I'll get to a point in the game where it's like, okay, you can pull off that sticker now and see what the name of the game is. That's not going to happen. I'm going to know the name of the game before I play it. And so if it's a spoiler, that's a dumb thing to name the game. If it's not a spoiler, then why are you saying it is?
Honestly,
go ahead.
With that knowledge in conjunction to what like I just said about possibility maybe Zelda's dead and that's why the kingdom is crying.
Yeah. But
I've cracked the code. There we go.
You heard it here first, folks. No, I see what you're saying that, but like everyone is going to speculate about anything based on the title, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I just like, it's like, how is this a spoiler? We're going to speculate, and maybe you're right. But like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't. I think that I'm just soured because they were so cagey about it. And now here we are, and it's like, now we know, and guess what? We still don't know anything about the game. So, there you go.
Yeah, I fully expect, like, a Tears of the Kingdom direct, specifically, come, like, March.
Yeah, March would be a good time for that. Because May 12th, 23, supposedly,
yep.
We'll see.
Yep. I mean, it's early enough in front of E3 that they don't have to like devote that direct to it. So
yeah, it's out far enough ahead of E3 that by the time we get to E3, like at E3, that's when they'll be showing us like, okay, here's the next big one. And I think that's going to be Metroid Prime 4.
I hope so. I mean, personally, I hope it's Star Fox instead, but I hope so.
Oh, you would prefer Star Fox?
Oh yeah. I mean, duh.
Wow.
Well, like I'll take Metroid Prime 4 though.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. Grade this one.
This isn't even a real grade, but like probably a B- plus. I think it was still about as bad as Sony's presentation, but I liked it just a little bit more, but not enough to give it a B.
Interesting. I'm looking through the titles. Not enough to give it a B, but like B minus plus. Okay, that makes sense. You are a much easier grader than me. I'm looking through. I'm just gonna say, like GoldenEye was probably the biggest announcement. I liked the N64 games, and I am stoked on Kirby, and I'm stoked on Tears of the Kingdom. 3 things that I liked out of a 40-minute presentation. I'm giving it a D, and I'm saying that they did not have enough farm sim games.
What do you mean enough? There were 6 of them.
Had they gotten a few more in, maybe they could have gotten up into that C range. But
oh my god, no. Yeah, Nintendo, you gotta pull back on those.
Yeah, for real. Pump the fucking brakes, guy. Yeah. Like, whoever arranged this, maybe they just have a giant boner for farm sims, but like, yikes.
It was, very weird today. I think what's even weirder, though, we didn't see Metroid Prime Remastered, and that's been rumored to come out in November. And we also didn't see anything on Wind Waker Twilight Princess double pack. Like, these games that have been heavily rumored to have been, like, be ready for release.
They got me again. And fuck me, right? Like, I
bought those streamers for nothing.
Yeah, they tricked me. Congratulations, Nintendo. You guys got me again. But I'm at the point, those games are not coming out. Those games will not get ported to Switch. At this point, that is guaranteed. That is basically guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, which is so terrible.
Unless they're going to have some like special announcement at the Tokyo Game Show. Like I doubt that we're going to see either of these titles anytime soon.
Yeah, but honestly, even if we do get some big thing at TGS, it's like, where do they put those games?
Yeah.
Bayonetta took the October slot. Pokemon is in the November slot. There was something in the December slot, wasn't there? And then you've got Fire Emblem in the January slot.
Yep. You got Kirby and
like something else in the February slot.
Yeah. Do they get pushed to March at this point? Like,
well, but then in March you're too close to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because people will buy the combo pack, and then two months later, Tears of the Kingdom is out, and people are like, "Oh, well, I just spent $60 on a Zelda game," or parents are like, "No, we just spent $60 on a Zelda game. Play the one you got," and that hurts Tears of the Kingdom. So it would have to get pushed beyond May, and maybe it's a next September game, but I don't believe that it's ever going to happen.
Yeah, as far as that one goes. Prime, though, maybe we'll see it come winter still. I mean, there's still time. So,
I don't know about Prime Remake. I think I would prefer Prime Remake, but I think that Prime Trilogy Remaster that's got to happen. Because it gives people, it's been so long since the Prime Trilogy that, people have to have the opportunity to catch up on the story before Prime 4.
Yeah.
But also, that's another big assumption that Prime 4 ever comes out.
Yeah, because we haven't heard on that game for a few years now.
Tim, we got a title card. Okay?
I want more, damn it. I'm greedy.
You're being very greedy. Think of the developers. All right?
No. The developers work for me, the player.
Oh, God.
They must bend to my whims and my demands.
All right. Well, that's where we're going to leave it tonight. So if you liked what you heard, make sure to comment and leave us a rating and review on whatever platform you found us on. You can see everything we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. Subscribe on YouTube, Cold North Productions. Bye-bye.
To reset, I guess?
But also, we don't intro anymore. So
that's true. Do we have to? Yeah, no. Yeah, that's fair.
Reset.
All right, bye.
No, say it.
Yeah, reset. Fine.
All right. The outro music is already going. Big disappointing day. Terrible.
God, fuck, I woke up and stayed up for this. God damn it.